Instagram. Good morning, Facebook, and good morning, YouTube. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Come on in, join me live. Let's chat. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Hope you guys are doing something fun today, or at least maybe fun after work for Valentine's Day. Um, you can't hear me? Can anyone hear me on Instagram? If you can hear me on Instagram, put a heart in the comment box so we know so I know you can hear me. And then can you guys hear me on Facebook or YouTube? Oh, someone said you should have red on. I know, right? I should totally have red on. And believe it or not, I'm actually a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and our colors are red and white. But I rarely have red on. I don't think I have many red clothes. Like most of my clothes are pink, which is kind of like my brand. Or I wear a lot of white as well, like pink, white, yellows and colors, but no red for whatever reason. But I'm glad you guys can hear me. So whoever said she can't hear me, maybe you want to check your audio to see. Hey, Cleopatra, how are you? Happy Valentine's Day. All right, guys, today is Valentine's Day, so we should probably talk about marriage today. But let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration lawyer, and I represent clients in all 50 United States with their family immigration matters, humanitarian cases, naturalization, nationality stuff. If you want to schedule a consult with me, you can call 405-6567. Thank you so much. Let me see who that person is that said you look amazing. Tiki and Famzi, thank you so much. I appreciate it. But yes, I am married. This is going to be our 15th year of marriage. Wait, 15th year? Yeah, this is going to be our 15th year of marriage. I'm married and I have two lovely children. Let's see. Okay, so today I just want to talk about, marriage, and basically, filing for a marriage-based green card and some of what the requirements are. A lot of people, will be getting engaged, today or this week because of Valentine's Day, or, if you're in that category, let's talk about what is the requirement for you to file for an adjustment of status while you're here in the United States if you're married to a U.S. citizen. So I guess the first thing first is to talk about the differences if you marry a green card holder versus a U.S. citizen. So let's say you fall in love and your spouse is a U.S. citizen. Let me start with a green card holder. It's a green card holder. In order for your spouse to file for an adjustment of status for you while you're here in the United States, you have to show, one, that you have not overstayed your visa, that you entered into the country with the correct visa with inspection, because there's certain visas that do not allow you to adjust your status. For instance, like a crewman visa and all of that relates to C and D visas, or like, if you have a J1 visa that has, a waiver, a 2-year requirement back in your home country, right? Hi, Sandra. Long time. Yes, long time. I'm glad to see you're well. So as I was saying, with LPRs, you cannot overstay your time. So if you're married to a green card holder, in order for you to file adjustment of status, one, you cannot have overstayed your time here. Number two, visas have to be available. When I say visas, think of it as green cards. It's just what they refer to it as when you're dealing with a family preference category. So meaning, the family preference for this, which is an F2, has to be available. Last year, the year before that, and the year before that, all of this was available. And then things changed in September of last year. So basically, it's no longer available and you're looking at a longer wait. So the odds are going to be really low right now unless something happens with a visa bulletin. So most times those people have to consular process, or they have to show that or if, let's say, they were in an abusive marriage, then they can file and do their waiting time here. But On the other hand, if you're married to a US citizen, you can adjust your status. So even if you've overstayed your time here, you can still adjust your status as long as you entered into the country correctly. So with both of them, the common theme is that you must have entered into the country with inspection and allowed into the country, the right way, whether it's by land, air, or sea, but through basically customs and immigration. And if you entered into the country that way, and you're not in the category of visas that are not eligible for adjustment of status, your spouse can petition for you. When your spouse petitions for you, the big things that you're generally looking at, two core things. The first thing is, one, that your spouse meets the income requirement to file for you and to be your financial affidavit of support sponsor, essentially. If your spouse does not meet the requirement, then it's acceptable to have a joint sponsor, but the joint sponsor must be a US citizen or a 10-year green card holder. A lot of what confuses people, I would say that the highest rate of denials come from these two things that I'm talking about. I-864 is your financial affidavit of support, or not enough evidence that your marriage is legit, right? So with financial affidavits of support, it's very important, especially if you're a business owner who takes deductions, to just reduce your tax liability or whatever it is, that you understand that they're looking at your adjusted gross income on your IRS tax transcript. So even though you may have made $100,000 or whatever at your job, if you've deducted enough where it only shows that you're making $20,000 once they do your adjusted gross income, you're not going to be eligible to be a sponsor. So you're going to need a joint sponsor. So that's what happens a lot of times, like all the deductions and all of that. By the time they look at the tax transcript, they may not be eligible. Also, you're going to need to show the most recent tax transcript. So we're in 2024. Any file submitted before April 15th, they will accept a 2022 tax filing. Why? Because we haven't reached a deadline to file for 2023. After April 15th, they're fully expecting a 2023. So keep that in mind. The second and most important thing is proving that you have a bona fide marriage. You got to prove that your marriage is a legitimate marriage. There's no going around this. There are many ways in which, you can prove that your marriage is legitimate. Obviously, if you're a newlywed, you're not going to have as much evidence as, say, somebody who has been married, for a couple of years or much longer. But think about these things. One of the things that's most important to show is financial entanglement, right? Showing financial entanglement, that you're entangled financially. And some examples of that would be things like, you guys have an active, see how I said active, bank accounts, credit card account. When I say active, it means you can't just open a bank account and it's just kind of like sitting there. There's like $100 in there every month. Like there's nothing that happens there, because it would appear as though that account is for immigration purposes only. So you want to make sure that you have an active bank account that you guys share. Let me put a caveat real quick before people start like panicking and saying, oh my gosh, we don't have a bank account. Are we going to get denied? That's not what I'm saying. I'm giving you examples of things because there's not one thing fits all. So I'm just listing some categories and some things that will be helpful to your case if you have it. Another example of financial entanglement is if you're able to file taxes together. Like if you file, joint taxes together, that's a great way to show financial entanglement. If you have health insurance, they place the most value in health insurance. Why? Because health insurance is very expensive. Millions of Americans who are US citizens don't have health insurance because it's really expensive. So if your spouse is willing to put you on there and willing to take that pay cut for whatever they have to pay for health insurance, it's a pretty good sign that they want you to be healthy and, they want to be married to you. While life insurance is good, It's not as strong as health insurance, as I mentioned, just because health insurance is something that's really expensive. And then, of course, bills and things like that also are very helpful, and lease agreements and mortgages to show financial entanglement, or if you even have a business together. Like if you guys have set up a business together, like those are also great ways to show that your marriage is legit. Another way is emotional connection, right? Matters of the heart, as immigration calls it. Emotional connection is going to be things like, pictures over the duration of your marriage, like affidavits from people who know you guys and have socialized with you guys. It's not enough for them to just write a letter and say, oh yeah, I know them, they're a cute couple, and I think they're going to be amazing together forever. Like USCIS wants details, of how they know you. How did you guys meet this person? When have you guys hung out together? When have you guys done things together? What is your perception of the marriage? So you want to be detailed in your affidavit if you're writing an affidavit for, an immigrant, petitioning. Some other matters of the heart are just, text messages, social media posts about each other, trips that you've taken together. And then, of course, if you're scheduled for an interview, they dig deeper into that. And that's where, a lot of people have, the disasters that generally happen most times at interviews or at home visits or at phone calls that are not expected from USCIS, when they start asking you intimate details, about each other that they expect you to know. Like, what is your spouse's middle name? Like, what street do you cross to get to your own street? Like different things like that. Like, do not underestimate knowing like all your spouse's children, their names, where do they go to school, who takes care of them, because sometimes some people say, well, he has a lot of kids, I don't know all of them. But, they want you as a spouse to know, these things about them. And absolutely, dream queen of hearts, children together, that's definitely a matter of the heart. That is a financial entanglement as well, showing that you guys are committed to your relationship. So these are really some of the core things that immigration looks for. And then, of course, finally, you, of course, passing your medical exam. But the two core things that are usually the issue for most people is proving a bona fide marriage, and then also financial entanglement. And sometimes when they're looking at bona fide marriage, they're going to look at marital history, like who have you been married to before? How quickly did you get married to this person? What was the previous marriage? Was the previous marriage to a U.S. citizen? Did you file with that person? So there are just many variables to it. I know like talking about this usually takes a much longer time, and sadly I don't have a lot of time today. So I'm just going to reserve the next couple of minutes just to answer some questions from you guys. Is the best way to file a petition for your spouse as a green card or file as a citizen in a few months from now? I'm not sure I understand your question, but as far as processing time right now, or generally, filing as a U.S. citizen means visas are available, meaning the green cards are available. They're not rationing them out. So automatically, those are going to take faster than if you were a green card holder, because with the green card holder, you go based on the schedule of what's on the visa bulletin. Yeah. Hi, Denise. Good morning. How are you? She says, good morning, my favorite. And God bless attorney. You have a heart of gold. Thank you so much. Happy Valentine's Day. Okay. I've lived with mine for 5 years, but we just got married. This is actually a really great question or comment. So like a lot of times we see situations like that. And in those 5 years that you've lived together, you must have a ton of stuff. So what you want to do is submit those things that you have in those 5 years, in addition to your marriage. We had one couple, and I remember they got married. We literally filed within 30 days of them getting married, and they got approved 90 days later. This is not common, though, by the way. Like, it's not common to have like your approval in 3 months, but it does happen. I would say out of 10 people that we submit for, maybe it'll happen to 2 people. But I remember they had a lot of documentation of their relationship. They took a lot of vacations together outside the country, where, she would go visit him where he was, and they would go to other trips and, things like that. So those really helped their case. I I filed an I-130 and an I-485 in 2022. Both are still pending as of today. I got my EAD and AP. I filed a new I-140 and EB1 and got it approved last month. Can I file a new 485? Yeah, so you're going to have to withdraw one. Yes, you withdraw one. File your new 485, and then once you file your new 485, you can certainly withdraw the other one, if you don't want to continue to wait. But 2022, it seems long, though, for you to still be waiting, depending on if you're at the tail end. One of the things you can do just to perhaps, maybe save yourself from paying a new filing fee is contact USCIS or try congressional assistance to see if you can get a decision quickly on that one. Okay. How long after 360 expedite request was approved can I expect a decision? Approval was granted January 4, 2024. Girl, your guess is as good as mine, because I don't even know why USCIS approves expedites when they don't make a decision. I can't tell you how many expedites requests we've had approved, and we're going on 6 months waiting on them. So I really don't know why they do that. If you're going to approve, then make a decision. So honestly, I can't tell you, because we have many people that are still waiting, and that's not a published timeline. So don't have an answer for you. Sorry. What is the requirement for I-864W when your I-360 is approved? So W. Smith, if you are a VAWA applicant, which I'm assuming is what your I-360 is based on, or it could also be based on maybe if you're a widower, or whatever. Typically what happens is you're exempt from a financial affidavit of support, meaning you don't need someone to submit a financial affidavit on your behalf. So think about like when you file a marriage-based case, you have to file an I-864, which is basically saying I'm going to be a sponsor for this person. When you're a self-petitioner, for a VAWA case, you don't need that. You don't need that because you're getting a waiver. So look at the W, basically is a waiver of the I-864 requirement. So that's all it means. And right now they can't make a decision without it. So there was a period during Trump's administration where they changed the 485 forms, and we didn't need that anymore. And so a lot of those cases that were submitted then that are still pending right now, if they approve your VAWA, what will happen is that when you're going to your interview or they send you an RFE for your medical, they will ask you for the I-864W because it's a requirement now. All right, one more question that I got to jump off. Can someone file for VAWA if they're being abused but already filed? Exquisite decor, absolutely. So I'm assuming that, you probably filed a marriage-based case. So if you filed a marriage-based case and you're experiencing abuse, you can 100% file a VAWA application if you meet the requirements. I would love to screen you to make sure that you meet the requirements. So you can call me. It's 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp with your phone number if you want us to call you back. It's 404-333-8751. And this is for everyone else. Feel free to call to schedule a consultation. I would love to help you or any of the other associates that work with me. I hope you guys have an amazing day today. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. And I will be back on live next week, Monday, I think. Same time. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.